Case Study Presentation by Samantha Crawford. I had a 10-year-old 5th grade student named Natalie as my case study student. She had a very great work ethic and she's very eager to please. She enjoys sports and spending time with her older brother. And according to the parent survey, Natalie's mother feels that Natalie does have problems with reading, but she's not concerned about Natalie's grades because Natalie usually has great grades, but she does know that reading is difficult for Natalie. For my pretest, I used Kottmeyer's 1970 diagnostic spelling test. I used the intermediate spelling list, and she got 27 of the 32 words correct. The words that she did misspell, she misused or had a misconception with the letter U and the U sound. I used the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 5th grade word list for the vocabulary. She got 95% accuracy. She got 19 out of 20 words correct. I also used the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 for fluency, and she scored a 147 WPM and a 144 CWPM. Upon giving her this test, it was very clear to me that Natalie read too quickly, and this caused her to make more errors and more miscues while reading, and it made she fumbled and stumbled on her words as she was reading. It was very choppy. I also used the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 for comprehension. She scored a 97% accuracy in comprehension. She only retold 18 out of 81 items, and she correctly answered 6 out of 8 comprehension questions. For the writing assessment, I used Narrative Writing on Demand. Her scale score was 1, and she had a problem with following a topic in her writing. She could tell the main idea in the first couple sentences of the paper, but then as she went on, she totally lost track of the topic and the main idea. Based on those assessments, we created 3 literacy goals for Natalie. The first one is Natalie will improve reading comprehension by improving the fluency skills of rate and expression. And the rationale behind that is Natalie reads as quickly as possible so that she can finish the mandatory reading. Because of this, Natalie is not reading fluently. And this also is really affecting her comprehension and her retelling abilities. So that leads us to our literacy goal number 2, and that is Natalie will improve reading comprehension by using strategies to help identify main idea, detail, character, and setting. The rationale behind that is Natalie struggles to comprehend and retell what has been previously read because she reads with many miscues. In order for her to remember what she has read, we will use main idea and detail strategies and graphic organizers that will help her recall the key points from the reading. The third literacy goal is that Natalie will improve her writing by using a main idea and supporting details that support the prompt. The rationale behind that is during Natalie's writing sample, she was able to begin the writing with the main idea. However, after she identified the main idea, she began to lose focus of the topic and the prompt. Here is the recorded tutoring session of me and Natalie. we completed a lesson on main idea. We used a excerpt about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is something that she was learning in her actual classroom. And what we did was we took each paragraph, and with every paragraph, she would take the title and create a question. We would then read this paragraph and find the answer to the question. So this did not only make her slow down and read paragraph by paragraph, so it worked on that fluency, but it also helped her with comprehension and using the skill of creating questions to help recall what she has read. In my video reflection, I put a positive and a negative. The positive is that the video showed that Natalie and I needed to continue to work on fluency. If you watch the video, you will see that Natalie does a pretty good job of reading slowly at the correct rate at the beginning of the lesson, but however, she starts increasing that speed. But she remembers to start slowing down her reading and does try to fix it towards the end of the video. But I thought this video was very beneficial because I was able to use that recording of me and her and let her hear herself reading. This was very, very beneficial because she could see how fast she was reading and how it was causing her to make mistakes as she read. The negative I have about the lesson that we recorded is if I could teach the lesson again, I would have another independent assignment at the end that reflected on the lesson that we taught. She did do some independent work. She did a couple of the paragraphs by herself. But if I could do it over, I would put a similar assignment at the end for her to complete independently. I really feel like this would have enriched the lesson a little bit more for her. The overall case study reflection, the positive, is using different assessments helped show her strengths and weaknesses. Using the assessments that I used, it was very easy to plan my lessons around that. It was very easy to see where she was strong and where she was weak, such as her strength was vocabulary. She has a very good vocabulary, but her weaknesses are fluency and comprehension. The parent survey and student interest was helpful while planning lessons. For example, her parent said that she thrives off like words of affirmation and competition. So I used that to create the lessons that I had planned. Modeling proved to be very beneficial for the student. Natalie, if you did not model for her in depth, she did not show a lot of confidence in what she was doing. So when you would model for her in depth, she really was able to do the work more independently. Linking lessons to her actual classwork. I thought this was very important because not only is it enriching what she's doing in her classroom, but it also saves us the step of having to teach that background knowledge. She already has some background knowledge of the material that we're learning. And I also thought that the use of technology, such as YouTube and BrainPop Jr., was a great way to teach the information to Natalie. She enjoyed the videos that I used during the lessons. The things I would change is I would have more lessons on fluency. Because by the end of the tutoring, she still needed some work with her fluency. She kept forgetting to read a little bit slower, and she kept having those stumbling on her words issues. And I would have more interactive websites. I think, playing games and stuff like that, especially since she thrives off that competition, would have been better. The post-test, I used the same test that I used in the pre-test. I used Kottmeyer's 1970s diagnostic spelling test. She improved her score to 29 out of 32 words, and this moved her up to a level 5 reader. I used the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 5th grade word list. She improved her score from 95% to 100% automatic, and she got 20 out of 20 words correct. I used the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 for fluency. She scored a 183.7 WPM and a 179.4 CWPM. She actually made more mistakes as she read in the post-test. So we still need to work on that fluency, and that's why I would change and add more fluency lessons. The Qualitative Reading Inventory 5 comprehension test, she increased her score from a 97% to a 98% accuracy. She did increase her score from 18 to 27 out of 53 items that she retold, and she was able to use lookbacks to answer 7 out of 7 comprehension questions correctly. My recommendations. For her teacher, I would recommend that Natalie works better when the content is related to her or her interests. Adding that competitive edge to the lessons was really beneficial for her. And I said that the teacher needs to model the task pretty thoroughly so that she can have that confidence that she needs to finish the task independently. I said use graphic organizers to help slow down her reading and improve her comprehension. I found that in most of the lessons that we did, we used graphic organizers, and that really helped her to organize her thoughts so that she could go back and look at those to retell and to improve that comprehension. And it also helped her slow down and quit reading so quickly. And I also said focus on main idea and staying on topic with her writing, because that was something, it did improve, but it still needs some improvement. The parent recommendations, she needs to read aloud. The parents need to read aloud to Natalie or allow Natalie to read aloud to you. And I said that this would help her hear how to read more fluently, how to read more slowly, and also allows them to hear how she's reading and see if she's making any progress. And I said to do this twice a week. I also said to use educational websites such as spellingcity.com or funbrain.com, and these are just websites that have fun reading games for kids, and I really think that this will help improve those spelling errors that she was making and also help improve that fluency. And I said to do these 2 to 3 times a month. And I also said have conversations with your child and either have her retell what you told her or you retell what she told you. And that will have her practice that retelling skill. And this can just be a quick 5-minute conversation, and I said to do this daily. And my resources are for the Qualitative Reading Inventory 5. Thank you.